Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to Lone Oak Farm. We are going to get some early morning weeding underway here. While we're doing that, or while our worker is doing that for us, we will then be doing some spraying on our crops. Get our fields up to stage 3, 2 and 1, depending on the fields involved. First off, we need to get this grass up to stage 2, now that it has grown again an extra stage overnight. And we will also need to send our weeder over to field 24 and weed away on that one as well. That's actually, this will be at stage 3 now. This will be putting stage 3 on this, because we did weed it after we cut it. We didn't do that though with field 24. We just didn't have time last night to send the weeder out and run along that field after we'd already done all the work that we needed to. We just didn't have enough time left in the day, so that's going to be a stage behind this field. We'll have to, be very wary of that going forward. But if we get our worker underway, there we go. He'll weed this field for us. We're going to break out the sprayer and take a trip round our field, see what needs to be done. You can see our barley is starting to get quite nice and tall just here. That's not too far away from being ready. Another 4 days and that'll be ready, I think. Day 5 of summer, and that should be ready to harvest, I think. Alright, so we're into the leap. We do need to top this up. You can see there is our Big M. Wonderful Big M. Looking forward to actually running that in swathing mode, where it'll just give us one nice big row. Not quite sure what we'll need that for. Maybe for doing a little bit of silage here at the farm, but we will try and do a cut like that at some point. So let's take a look at the fields that need to be worked on today. So here you can see our weeder now putting stage 3 application down on field 44. We need to spray our 2 sunflower fields to get them up to stage 3. We also need to spray our 2 cornfields here to get them up to stage 2, and these 2 cornfields here to get them up to stage 1. We're going to start up here, I think, get those out of the way. We can get those done on a full tank, then come back, top up, and from there we can start working our fields on this part of the farm. And also means that we should be able to, hopefully by the time we get back, we should have made some good progress on this field. And by the time we get all of our spraying done, we should be in a position to transfer our weeder over to field 24. There you can see our corn starting to come in at last. That's the slowest of our crops in terms of growth. That's into its first growth stage. Everything else is in at least stage 2, stage 3. Possibly even stage 4. Our canola should be in its final stage now. You can see here another farmer planted a winter crop. That's now into stage 4, as is this crop here. So those will be being harvested in a couple of days' time. Will be ready to be harvested in a couple of days' time. Obviously it's up to the farmers as to when they actually get that harvesting done. So it's kind of a day today where we've got a lot of prep work that needs to be done. We'll probably need to top up our animals a little bit today as well. I'm almost certain we're going to need to top up their water levels a little bit. Certainly with the cows. They were starting to get quite low last night. So as soon as we've done the spraying... I'm slowing down too much. There we go. I just want to set my cruise control to 32 to kind of match traffic speed. As soon as we've got these 2 cornfields done, we'll be topping up the water level on our cows, probably giving them a little bit more TMR. I did give them some grass last night, made up a few grass bales, and I've got a couple of bales left inside the shed. Now they will have rotted a bit overnight, so I'm expecting those to be maybe around about a couple of 1,000 litres left on them, maybe a little bit more. They shouldn't disappear completely, but that will just help top up our grass levels a little bit. I also fed the sheep last night and watered them while I was stacking all those bales away, so they are now fully taken care of for the next few days. We've got 4 pallets of wool already, well 3, and a 4th pallet that was almost done. we might possibly have a fourth complete pallet by now. And of course it is summer, so our sheep have stopped breeding now, but our cows should be starting to breed. Let's take a quick look while our sprayer unfolds. Let's check our animals. So here you can see, yes, we are onto pallet number 5. They will still produce wool through the rest of summer, but they have now stopped breeding. And we have 151 sheep, so that's quite a nice little number. We'll be looking to sell those off towards the end of the year. Probably at the end of summer, if the price isn't too bad, although the price is usually pretty low at the end of summer. There you can see the low water level for our cows. That definitely needs topping up later. And our cows, their breeding rate, 1 every 17 hours, 35 minutes. So we'll pick up a few cows over summer. We might pick up 5, maybe 6 if we're lucky. It depends how much that reproduction rate comes down as they continue to increase in numbers. But for now we need to get this spraying done here. This will be the first time we sprayed with a bigger boom. I wonder if we can actually get the whole field done if we're careful. I wonder if we can do the whole field in just 2 passes. It's not that wide a field. We couldn't quite do it in 3 if you remember last time out. I think we might end up with a similar thing. Do 2 passes and have a very thin strip left over. But it'll certainly speed up how quickly we turn this field over and the field over there as well. That should be done reasonably quickly too. Which is good, as I say, we need to get back to the farm and do the water for our cows pretty soon. Otherwise they are going to risk dehydrating a little bit, and that could hurt their health, depending on how long they're without water. A little spin there. Tag that corner, straighten up again. And we're back up to about 53 grand, which is not a bad little amount. I mean, that is thanks to our milk sales overnight, which is still making a small profit against our equipment expenditure. Obviously we've added in some new, quite expensive equipment. So it has pushed our costs up a little bit in terms of our nightly sort of maintenance costs. And with more animals, yeah, see again, look, we're going to get that thin strip down the middle. With more animals, we are paying a higher animal upkeep cost every night as well. Our cows spitting out around about $28,500 worth of milk a night at the moment, but as we are into breeding season, that is going to start to go down quite quickly. So expect over the next few days to see that figure start to drop, quite a bit. And then when we get into autumn, their milk production is going to slow right down, and it won't be until winter that it goes back up to a healthy, respectable level. Right, just this middle bit to do now. We'll just keep it simple. We'll just do a pass straight down the middle. We're going to lose a lot of additional fertilizer, but so be it. And of course, it won't take us too long to get across onto the other field. Get that done. You can see how quickly we've turned this one over. The other one will probably take us maybe through to about 7 o'clock, maybe a little bit longer than that. And as soon as we're done on that, as I say, back to the farm. We've got plenty of spraying that needs to be done today, plenty of fields that need to be tagged. We don't have to get them all done today. We could do some tomorrow. We'll see how we'll kind of do on that. I think possibly our grass might start growing a bit quicker now that we are into summer. So we might possibly start get the grass to grow on a daily basis as opposed to every 2 days. Don't forget, we should get 4 cuts on each field this year in terms of availability. Whether we actually take all 4 cuts is another matter. We probably won't. As I say, we're not planning on doing a big silage dump this year. We'll do some of the BGA from this corn here. We might sell it. It may be used purely to mix up some more TMR later in the year for our cows. It depends how quickly they go through TMR this summer. And again, with more cows being added into the herd, that is going to increase how quickly they get through their food. So We may need a little bit more TMR, a bit more silage for TMR going forward, but we have got a decent supply of TMR pre-mixed, which really does speed up how quickly we can feed them. And we've still got a good supply left a decent supply left in the bunker at the farm as well. So I don't know if we're going to need to do that much. We'll probably just do what we have been doing, make hay bales and sell them off. There's no point making grass bales. You know, the amount of time it takes to wrap the silage bales and then to leave them there and leave them fermenting means we can't do any other bale work, you know, until we've sold them. Plus we sold the wrapper, so it'd be a bit pointless to to sell it for 30 grand and then spend 102 grand I think it costs to buy another one back. You know, it would just be silly and a complete waste of money. So I will plod along and spray this field out, and then I'll see you back at the farm when we're ready to take care of the cows. Okay, we are ready to water our cows. The sprayer is refilling over in the corner of the yard over there. Let's sneak our way in here. Okay, is that enough? It's enough to keep them going. So we'll do a proper top-up tomorrow. Tomorrow will be animal care day again, so we'll cow care day. So we'll come and muck them out because getting to be quite a big pile of manure in there again. We'll muck those out. We'll also make sure they're well, fully stocked on their food troughs and the water trough. But there's enough to get them through today and part of tomorrow. So that's the important thing. We will obviously need to top this up again tomorrow. This trailer, it is now completely empty. So we'll go shove this back in its little cubby hole. Jump back in the sprayer and carry on our spraying work. I'm looking at the weather forecast and you can see that we've got rain forecast for tomorrow and also for Tuesday as well. Got a couple of wet days coming up, so that is going to potentially cause some issues if we want to do any more mowing. I don't think the grass is going to be ready. Well, it might be ready tomorrow. If it's ready Wednesday, then that's going to be perfect. That's going to be the best day for us to actually get our mowing done. And then hopefully Wednesday, day 5. Hopefully we'll actually be in a position to start our harvest and get our canola out of the way. That should be fully grown by then at the very latest. You never know, it might even be ready. Let's see, we're on day 1. It might be ready on Monday, on day 3. You never know. But let's go spray our other cornfields first of all, and then from there we'll move on to our wheat fields and then the sunflower fields, and that'll just clear up those jobs. So let's start unfolding. Where's our weeder? He's about halfway through. That's not too bad. He's made some pretty good progress. Still got another field that needs to be weeded today, so we'll have to make sure we get on that as quick as we can. There we go. So Nice straight line down here, and then a line across the bottom, and then down the far side, down this side, and then again we can leave our weeder to hopefully, our sprayer to just do everything in between. And once we've got our corn out of the way, as I say, we'll move on to the wheat field behind us there. So with our sprayer busy spraying away on our cornfields and our weeder busy weeding away on field 44, it's time for us to get our orchard back up and running. So we'll start with the manure, get that out of the way. This will take a fair while. We should have plenty in here still. Oh yeah, loads in here. And then we'll get that stocked back up again tomorrow when we muck out the cows. We've still got some actually in the area around the back. I'm running low on fuel. We might have to refuel our tractor before the end of the day. And of course we've got our water tankers there. They are going to need to be refilled at some point. We've got enough water to keep us going here for a while, but we do now have a hook lift. It took the entire day, but our team has managed to convert our stealth truck into a stealth hook lift. So that is now fully operational, and at some point in the next few days we'll come back down here with that truck and hook up those barrels and take them into the water so that we can get them topped up. We might even reposition them a little bit as well, maybe put them a little bit closer together and have a gap on either side. Quite sure yet. May move them somewhere else entirely. But this orchard is such a money maker. We can't really afford for it to not be running. Given how much more money we are going to have to spend. We're going to need around 400 plus, over 400,000 for the harvester with the header for our beets. We're probably going to need, if I do, because we're going with Holmer, if I go with the Terra variant, that's another 250,000 I think or so for the actual Terra variant itself, and then for the auger wagon, for the beet auger, that's probably going to be another close to 50,000. So we're probably talking around 300 for that, and then we might even get the Terra Fellis as well, so that we can actually scoop the beets off the ground, which would be exactly the same as a rope them out, but obviously in Holmer colours. So we've got plenty of equipment for that's going to cost us a lot of cash. Where is the tree that I need to get to? This next one, isn't it? There we go. So we definitely need the orchard to start producing money, because I don't want to dip into the loan at all this year. Now that we've got it all paid off, I just want to rely on whatever money we have on hand, and I still want to buy that that Mustang. I didn't forget how much fun I had driving that, and I could have bought one earlier, but we just didn't really get around to it. And I thought about getting one this morning, and then looked at my bank balance and go, I don't have enough. And like I said, I don't want to touch the loan. Now that we've paid it off, I want it to stay paid off. So I don't want to waste, I say not waste money, but I don't want to dip into the loan again having paid it off. I want it to stay paid off now. So we will not be making any purchases unless we actually have the physical cash for it. So if that means we we have to wait and let the orchard produce money for us, or sell some equipment if we are in desperate need of something, then that's going to be it. Year 3 is going to be a no loan year. Like I say, I worked too long and too hard to get that thing paid off to just casually open it back up again. But we shouldn't need to. As I say, this orchard will spit out about 100 grand a day, and so by the time we need the equipment for our beets, we'll have all the money we'll need. And don't forget, soybeans in 2 days as well. Day 3 is going to be soybean day, and that is going to be worth hundreds of thousands. Maybe if we're really lucky, we could even get around 750,000 for our soybeans. We could even, if the price is really, really good, we could even get close to $1 million just off our soybeans. That would be insane. If we could get that much, I don't think we will, but if we could get that much, that would be truly wondrous. In fact, I'm just going to break out a calculator. I'm going to do a little bit of quick maths here. How much do we have in stock? Let's see. We have 339,990. So let's say 340,000. Okay, so let's take 1 million and divide that by 340,000. Actually, no, it'd be 340, wouldn't it? So we would need a price of 2,941 and a little bit of change to be able to break 1 million of 340,000 litres. I don't think the price is going to get up to over 2,900. It'd be amazing if it did, but I think we're probably looking at a maximum of around 2.6, maybe if we're really, really lucky with the markets, 2.7. And again, you know, that's assuming that we can sell everything at a consistent price. If we're going to get market droppage between tips, then it might not be possible. Or even if we only get one really good sell point and one that's not so good, then again, it's, you know, achieving a solid 2.6 across all of our grain is going to be pretty much impossible. So yeah, I think 750 is a realistic kind of target for our soybean sales. It all depends on whether or not that one day, the one day of the year, we actually get lucky and get a really strong price like we did last year, or if we get a really weak price like we did, you know, with our first soybean harvest. That's going to be the crucial telling factor, I think. Right, I'll carry on working away here, and I'll catch up to you once we've made some more progress. There we go, orchard is now back up and running. So I need to go and refuel this tractor. I also need to refill this tanker. Both of the storage tanks here at the orchard are dry as well, so we will need to get those restocked. We'll do that tomorrow, but we may as well restock this water tanker, seeing as we've got to take this over to the farm to refuel it anyway. Now the reason I'm doing that and not just waiting for the tankers to be done is because it costs 24,000 litres of water every time I want to restock the orchard from scratch. So our two tankers on their own will give us 40,000 litres. It's not enough. See, I'm going to have to just weed that edge of the field again just to get rid of those bits of hay there. So we need this tanker to be full as well, and obviously I can't refill that, and yeah, I'd have to take the hook lift back again and then refill it again. So we'll refill this independently, and then we'll have 8,000 here, 40,000 in the two tankers, and that's two complete refills of the orchard when it runs dry. So, what to do first? Refill or refuel? We'll do the refill first, then we'll refuel on the way back. I think that's the best thing to do. And just pootling our way through here. Probably give this a clean actually while we're over here. It hasn't been cleaned in a while. This 1455, it's very, very dirty. Definitely needs a bit of a wash, so we'll do that as well. While it's refueling, we'll break out the pressure washer and we'll give it a good clean. But for now, let's back our trailer into the pond. Oops. Let's try that again. Try and keep it straight this time. There we go. Excellent stuff. So now a refuel and a clean up, and then this will go back down to the orchard, ready for a couple of days' time when we'll need to do that whole process all over again. Just finishing off spraying the cornfield here. This actually took a little bit longer to get done because I had to come back and refill our sprayer. It ran out just before the end of the field. Of course it did. So now we just have our 2 wheat fields to get done, and then our spraying over here. Well, actually no, we still got the sunflowers to do as well. I might save the sunflowers for tomorrow, so we've got some stuff to do tomorrow, because I don't think beyond that we're going to have much else to do apart from the cows. I don't know. We'll see how long it takes to get these 2 fields done. It shouldn't take too long to do this one, because it's that relatively straight field, so we can make pretty quick work of this one. The other field will be slightly more complicated just because of its shape and its design, as it wraps around the that little outcropping of trees. We're burning through the fuel on this thing as well. You know, this had a full fuel tank obviously when we bought it, and we're down to just 93 litres left, so that shows you how much spraying we've been doing, that this has burnt through several hundred litres of fuel. It's certainly a lot more spraying than I had initially intended to do this year. As I explained, I wanted to try and put oilseed radish down on all of my fields, but we just didn't have time in the end. We missed the window, the planting window on a couple of them, because we had to make sure that the harvest was done, and that took priority over cleaning and turning the fields to put OSR in. So by the time the harvest was all done, we only had 3 fields that were actually planted. I could have maybe got an extra couple in there if I'd realised just what was going on time wise. I could have perhaps utilised my time a little bit better. A lesson learned for the next farm we do with Seasons, which is going to be a while, I think. Certainly not going to be at launch with Farming Sim 19, or at least I'll be amazed if we get Seasons at launch, be it built in or as a day 1 mod. So we're going to have to get used to going back to the old style of playing Farming Sim, where it's just everything grows inside 24 to 48 hours. It's going to be a bit weird going back to that, having played so much Seasons since the mod came out last year. Was it last year or was it early this year? I think it was last year. I know it was last summer, and then I think they released it towards the end of last year. I can't remember when Seasons came out now. It's been a long time, hasn't it? It must have been last year. I'm pretty sure it was last year, because Seasons in the Valley was my first Seasons Let's Play. That was the Valley of the Old Farm, and I'm pretty sure that came out. Yeah, that came out just around the same time that the Platinum Edition map came out. I remember Yeah, because the Platinum expansion came out a week or so before Seasons in the Valley. The Valley, the Old Farm. I remember because of the bush thing, being able to plough bushes was something that initially was going to be unique to that map at the time, and then the Platinum release came out about a week before, and on that particular map on Estancia La Patio you could plough the bushes. And I did say that at the time I remember feeling quite sorry for Black Sheep that that wonderful feature that had been announced in a long time in advance was suddenly kind of usurped at the last moment by the Platinum Edition by just a few days. Do kind of feel a little bit sorry for Black Sheep in that respect, but still, yeah, that was what. Was it October? September? I think it was September. Was it even November? But it was when Platinum came out last year. So a long time ago, around about a year ago, Seasons has been out. Has it been that long? It really has, hasn't it? And now I just don't know. I certainly couldn't go back to playing 17 without Seasons. 19 we won't really have a choice. At least for a while we won't have a choice. We'll have to play standard. But I think as soon as Seasons comes out on 19, because it's going to come out on 19, I'm almost certain of that. As soon as that comes out, it's going to be, I think, our default way of playing again. So yeah, it's going to be an odd adjustment going back to standard style farm sim, vanilla mode, as it were. It's definitely going to be one that's going to take a little moment of adjustment. Why does my worker keep doing that? Is this field at stage? I'm spraying a field that's already at stage. No wonder the worker keeps wanting to work. I've just wasted a load of spray on this field here. Never mind. So does that mean, yeah, 45 is sprayed as well. I can't believe I forgot we got those to stage 3 yesterday. I'm an idiot. Okay, so in that case we do only have 2 fields left to spray, and that is our 2 sunflower fields, and we just wasted about 1,000 litres of fertiliser on a field that didn't need it. Dear oh dear oh dear. What a muppet. There we go. Now the worker will work, and this should be putting on the final stage of fertiliser. Let's just scroll down and zoom in a bit and check. Yeah, there you can see the final stage going down. So, alright, just 2 fields left to spray then, and then once these are done we'll take the Optum over to field 24. We'll get that weeded, and I think that's probably all we're going to need to do today. So quite a short episode, not a huge amount of jobs that need to be done, so I'll see you in a little while. Well, despite wasting 1,000 litres of fertiliser, we are almost done. In fact, this is it. This is the last little patch on this field here. Have managed to get it all done, although I am getting worryingly low on fuel. So I think what I'll do is I'll just tag the bottom edge over here, the bottom border on this field. I don't think I've got enough with only 1,000 litres to do field 51 in its entirety. Well, I'm almost certain I don't have enough. Oh, no, wait, tell a lie. I've still got this bit over here that still needs to be done. There, that thin bit there. So I'll do this strip down here. That'll use up another chunk of fertiliser, and then we'll head back, we'll refill, and we'll refuel as well, as we are getting, as I say, very low on fuel, down to 66 litres now, and still falling. Still burning it off quite quickly. I do kind of like this stage of the sunflowers where they're a very light green and you can just see the yellow of the flowers starting to come through. a decent kind of size. I think they've got one more stage of growth before they start to change colour. Although this might be it actually. This might be the final stage. I'm not sure. Before they start to look like they're ready to harvest, even though they won't be. It's going to start getting cloudy soon as well. The weather radar is indicating that clouds are on the way. It's just a question of when they're going to start rolling in. Hasn't started yet. Still nice and bright out, but it will happen, I think, probably within the next couple of hours. We'll start to see those clouds roll in and just get a bit darker and a bit duller, a bit greyer. Change our backdrop a little bit while we're doing our weeding, no doubt. There's the Optum parked up ready and waiting for us to take it over to field 24. We'll probably give the weeder a bit of a clean as well, because it's looking a bit muddy. Yeah, we'll give it a quick clean just to dust off some of that mud, and then we'll give it another clean when we get back to the yard after we're done. Let's see what the capacity of this fuel tank is. I'm not sure off the top of my head. Somewhere in the region of about 450, maybe 500 litres. Well, I don't think it'll be 500. It'll be over 400, maybe 450. More than that. Oh, maybe it is going to be 500. 479. Okay, not too far off. Give this a refill. I still don't know whether or not to get rid of this seeder. I'm trying to think what else to bring in, equipment-wise. There's a few little things that we could possibly bring in, but I don't know whether we're going to actually need to use them. I don't want to bring things in for the sake of just bringing them in. You know, obviously, bringing in our new bale trailer and the Big M, they have purpose, they have need and meaning, and also replacing the baler setup that had a purpose as well, as did the turbo farmer, the little telehandler that we've purchased. But beyond that, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that really needs to be purchased outside of our beat equipment, and off the top of my head I can't think of anything. I'm sure I'll find something for us to maybe have a look back on, a little, something else to join the farewell tour, but I don't know. I'll have to give it some thought, I think. So that's something for me to ponder. Right, let's get this final field sprayed off and then jump in the Optum. It's not a bad first-person driving experience in this, but it's just not the same. I have to keep checking over my shoulders to see the booms. I kind of preferred the original sprayer that we had. Made it much easier. Just something about the low window at the front as well, which really improved our visibility. There we go. We're finished on this field. That's it for spraying, I think. Let's just double check. Yeah, we can't spray those because we've just sprayed them. Everything else is already sprayed, including the edge of 43, which we sprayed unnecessarily again. And again, those are just sprayed today, so we can't spray those for another couple of days. So all that's really left for us to do today is that field there, field 24. We'll go and weed that field. Tomorrow is going to be a really short day. I'm just basically going to be taking care of animals, and that's pretty much it. So I think we might skip tomorrow. I think I might just do that off camera, and then we'll come back on day 3 for the soybean sell-off. Make our money, and maybe, if we're really lucky, even start harvesting our canola as well. It depends whether that's going to grow. That final stage over the next couple of days. It's getting close. Let's actually just take a quick look at the predictions here. You see, according to this, canola plant, there's only one canola harvest window, and that is day 5. So maybe it'll be ready tomorrow. I don't know. We may have to wait till day 5. I guess we'll find out on day 3. Yeah, given that, unless I can think of any other jobs that need to be done, we may just skip day 2 entirely and come back on day 3. Because, as I say, all that needs to be done really tomorrow that I can think of is just animal care. Our fields aren't going to need to be fertilised. Got no spraying that we can do now till day 3. Nothing's grown enough for us to harvest. Our grass is still growing back, so we haven't got any grass work that we could do. We've got plenty of TMR. Don't have to mix any of that up. It's literally just going to be a case of getting stuff, getting poop scooped, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, well, I might do a little montage of stuff and throw that into the start of episode 3. We'll see, day 3. We'll see how things go tomorrow. I don't have any equipment sales that really need to happen either. Although we will be switching out our trailers a little bit later in the summer for the 70,000 litre black sheep ones, just to give them a quick run. I did say I was going to give that a quick clean, didn't I? There we go. Just give it a quick spray just to take a little bit of that surface mud off. As we do the tractor at the same time, just clean the windows. You can see the mud splattered at the top and bottom of the windows there. We'll clean that off. There we go. Plonk that back in. There we go. Alright. Off we go to field 24 to close out our afternoon. So we're part way through this field, and this is the last job of the day. Is just weeding this and getting this up to stage 2. There's nothing left for us to do today, so we're going to call it an episode here. Bit of a short one today, but there's no point dragging this out any longer than it needs to be, considering there is no work to do. So we'll call it, as I say, we'll call it an episode here. And I will rejoin you at the start of day 3. We're going to skip out tomorrow, maybe just do a quick recap at the start of the next episode. So that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with some more Lone Oak Farm very soon.